The heat in general, no, not really, especially in Jeddah as well. It's literally so humid. Actually lose probably about 4 kilos each game just from fluids.
Growing up, who did you idolise?
Torres, so early teens, I tried to mould my game around him.
Are you excited to not only play in front of family, but go back to where, the place that made you be you?
When you're playing in your hometown, your home city, obviously every player knows it's just a little bit different. I am a superstitious person. I'll always put my left sock on first, left boot on first.
It's a beautiful day. You don't get this sort of weather in Adelaide, do you?
Yeah, I think we do get it a bit. Probably not at this time of year. I think it's a little bit colder at Adelaide at this point, but yeah, it's very nice.
Used to the heat at the moment?
Yes, definitely.
Enjoying every second of it?
The heat in general, no, not really. It's a challenge, trying to adapt to it, trying to play in that kind of weather, especially in Jeddah as well. It's literally so humid. Every game generally becomes a bit slower, more transition, and yeah, actually lose probably about 4 kilos each game just from fluids.
Growing up, who did you idolise more? I know, it doesn't have to be a footballer, but is there something that you looked up to as a kid?
Yeah, it was definitely football was my, kind of idols. I think if anyone's seen my celebration, it's Torres. So yeah, he was my idol growing up. Obviously I was a Liverpool fan. When I was in my early teens, I tried to mould my game around him. Probably a little bit different position and style now, but yeah, definitely took some inspiration from him.
It's funny, you mentioned the celebration and the goal in Melbourne, that was one of the first, if not the first, for Socceroos.
Yeah, that was
celebration. That was my first day working with Socceroos and getting that celebration. Could you recall that moment, getting the goal in, and then, just that moment for yourself, the pure joy?
Yeah, definitely. Probably still one of my favourite moments of my career, and being able to do it at the same stadium I made my debut at as well was just a really good feeling. But yeah, I've still got obviously all of those photos from that day. So thanks for capturing that moment so well.
It's one of those things. I think celebrating is if for someone who scores regularly for club level and international level now. Would you say that the emotion does take over you, and if it's a more special moment like your first goal, but calling back to the Torres and the inspiration as a kid, do you hope to inspire the next generation of Matildas Socceroos?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing for me is as well, I have been lucky enough to score a few goals now, and the feeling is the same. Like for me, the feeling's the same every time, but obviously there's moments, obviously international football and the big games when it means more and the feelings are just stronger. So yeah, definitely I start that springs to mind, but I'm starting to get to the point where I'm thinking of other celebrations I can do rather than doing the same thing over and over. But yeah, in terms of inspiring the next generation, that's always, especially as I get a bit older now, it's something that I think is, more at the forefront of my mind, being able to I guess try and give back a little bit and make sure that when there is those moments to interact with fans and interact with kids, because it's those small moments that can perhaps be the trigger for a young kid to try and push on
100%.
To make their own kind of career.
For me, Briciano's moment when he just stood there always stands out to me. And growing up with that moment when he just stood there, I think that's
iconic, isn't
something. So is there a footballer from the Socceroos, ex-footballer, that you would love to have played with in the career-wise and, or even look forward to playing with more so?
In terms of Australian idols, Harry Kewell was definitely my Australian idol. But I think in terms of my style of play, if I could have played more time with Timmy, I think I could have racked up a lot of assists with him, with his heading ability and his timing in the box. So that would have been nice. But I think just this current crop, especially now, there's starting to be a lot of boys from Adelaide and a lot of boys that I played with. It's very nice to be able to share the pitch with them there, but now at an international level as well, and see those younger boys start to forge their own careers.
You definitely mentioned Adelaide a few times in that last question. I think that's a big lead up for you, being proud Adelaide-born Australian. Are you excited to not only play in front of family, but go back to where the place that made you be you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I guess there was two games in Adelaide in quick succession, I think in 2016, 2017. But then it's been 7.5 years since we've played there, and I've never played there, and you know, I made my debut in 2013. So over the course of 11 years now, I've never had one game for the Socceroos in Adelaide. So, you know, obviously it's nice to play in Australia and have that, but when you're playing in your hometown, your home city, obviously every player knows it's just a little bit different. It's a little bit different feelings.
We'll fly back
Yeah,
down for that.
yeah, definitely,
100%.
definitely, and hopefully I'll be able to walk my boy out onto the pitch at Adelaide Oval in front of, you know, all of my family and friends. So yeah, it's definitely something I'm looking forward to, and I think it's probably going to be the only one that I'll get to play in Adelaide.
Yeah, amazing. And I think from, you know, growing up as an Adelaide kid, is there something that you had in the locker rooms, you know, whether it's the Raiders or even moving to Melbourne, was there something that you did pre-game to get you in the zone, the moment, like a pre-game ritual? I know for me, it was always putting left shoe first. Is it something that you do, or is that something that's top secret? We can't talk about?
Nah, I am a superstitious person. I think over the years have developed little things like that. Like I'll always put my left sock on first, left boot on first, and I'll just go through the same routine of what feels comfortable. But I don't kind of, you know, if I forget to do something, or just, you know, for instance, talking to someone about something and just doing my general routine, if I forget to put my left sock on first, I'm not going to be like, oh no, take that off and put it back on. Like, you know, I'm not like that. But the one superstitious thing I have now is when I made my debut, when I first moved to Melbourne, my grandmother, who's passed away now, who I do my celebration for, when I point to the sky, she gave me a St. Martin medallion, and I've carried that with me. I had it when I had my debut, and I've had that in the change room every game since.
Right.
So yeah, that's probably the most superstitious thing that I carry around with me for every game.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for your time, mate. And we'll look forward to watching you next couple of games we've got, and look forward to you enjoying your moment in Adelaide.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
For your time.